maybe just Jund. So bye bye Bed Botham. Bye bye. Yep, and this is where what you call it, Spell Snare is way better. So and maybe the Stern Scoldings need to be put in the sideboard, and maybe these just need to be for game one be Spell Snares. Because they really, really help. Yep, of course. Alright. Jeez. Yeah, I think we're seeing that this this deck doesn't have the grinding power that Dimir has. In it, and so what it gives up in grind, it gives up in finishing kind of early and being able to close some games out with some quick damage. But that's assuming that we have a just assuming that we have like a need to be able to like being able to put ourselves in a position to go ahead and win the game that way quickly. I just don't know if this is where we want to be or not. We'll see. Yeah, I'll play the turn for the vents. A lot of people suggest that these triumphs should be banned. That they're just too good for modern, or just too good in general for mana bases with fetches. Yeah. We'll let that hit, and then we'll push it. That's the other bad thing is Scolding doesn't take care of that. So, but Scolding takes care of this. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and use that. Normally I would spell search right there, but he's just going to kill it with the Rin Source. So. It's not necessarily biased for the triumphs. It does exactly what you say it will. it makes mana bases just even easier to assemble. And then on top of that, they have an effect. I can't let him. I mean, he'll just. Yeah. Maybe it's okay for him to do that. I don't know. I should probably. I'm gonna play the Sprite to keep this thing at bay. Maybe I'll get something else. Could do that. Yeah, we'll just run the run 6. Oh, back to my original thought is the Triumphs, they give Modern even more reach on the man bases. If fetches weren't enough, they allow more 3-color decks to be even more efficient, which is okay, but it also turns on a major, probably the best removal spell in Modern, which is Leyline Binding. It also turns on cards like Engineer Explosives. But it also turns on Rin 6, you know, him being able to keep bringing that back to his hand and drawing a card every turn, just because. So. Oh, Ragavan, what do you get? Okay, that's okay. Even though we want that in our hand. I think... Should I just bounce this thing? Just start hitting him. But he's just going to replay it. This is the problem with Rin 6. If it stays around, it just takes over. I mean, he's just going to keep drawing a card every turn. So... We'll see. I can't attack with Stutter anymore, so... And I'm not really worried about him like making me discard if he halts. Alright, so we want him to play into this. Because we're going to just snap push the Ragavan. Well, it's just very good, and like I said, it's probably the best removal spell in Modern. But without the Triumphs, it becomes not as good. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a synergy thing. That's really what it comes down to. Companion. I mean, we've probably lost this game. So we're past turn 7. I think this deck needs to win by turn 6 or it's over. And that's kind of what I was afraid of. Like you find what you need to find, or you just lose. Yeah, and then if you misdraw like this, like twice, and don't get what you want, it's over. I mean, and poking him isn't what I want here. And this is what I was kind of afraid of, is when you get like the format as a whole and the meta as a whole is very grindy. Can we outgrind these grindy matchups already? And the answer is just no. So, and I think we've seen that in these two games. Now, the first game I played off, that necessarily wasn't the case. So, and we're gonna bounce whatever he plays probably. So depending, yeah, sure. We'll bounce it into turn, and because we can't let him do it. Yep, sure. He'll end up drawing that. Yep. So you misdraw like a few times, and the deck just stalls. So I mean, if this was Lightning Bolt to take care of the Ren 6 would be nice, but the Ren 6 has been around for 7 turns now. So. Yep. Nothing we can do about this. Yeah. Hope we get a edict and nope. So I think we're done. Another land, 4 lands in a row. Their Blossom land. Come on, man. Just wasn't good. Change the equations, fine. I think Bowmasters is great here. He seems bringing that. And we can bring out, I think Sprite's just bad. Well, Sprite on the play is fine. Stern is not that good, so I don't think he's playing. He might be playing Fury. Definitely not playing Grief. Like, you're just playing with weird synergies. Like, you're playing with a mix of, you want enough fairies for Bitter Blossom, but you also want enough wizards for Flame Magnor, because this is just really good. And I think this even gets better by playing Orcish Bowmasters. And maybe just needs to cut a land in general. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of a land and then play something else, maybe a Force Negation or something. We're just gonna go 4 up and go with that. So but it's like if you don't hit Fable, you don't take off. Like the one game we got Fable, it just ended. It was very quick. There wasn't much else going on. We fabled. We had a Bitter Blossom and then a Fable, and then so I'll have to start off with a Grave, untapped, and then play the Tarn. Probably get a small, maybe get events. But the Bowmaster should be able to take care of everyone 6 if it comes down. Because he'll +1, make it a 4, and then we can swing. So. Cool. We'll see if Bowmasters wants to show up or not. Moon needs to come in. Didn't see this earlier. So I think we still play one of the Bowmasters here. Or maybe not. Hold out. But I'm I start the attack. This is a great question. Yeah, I think Stevens. Go ahead and play it. Ping him. Yep. Here. Yep. Oh yes. Man, if these were fairies, could you imagine? I think I'll... Because he's only going to kill one type of creature, which is going to be orc. Is that an orc too? Yeah, it's an orc army, so... Yeah, well, I'll counterspell it. Sideboard card. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the Tarn's up. So, but also realize he's not doing anything here. So we're, you know, he's stalling. And Bowmasters, you know, it punishes people for drawing extra cards a turn. So he found nothing? What's up with that? How do you... Or did he put the Pyrite in play? Okay, so he must have just done that. So it might be just that I need to play 4 Bowmasters in this list to make up for its other weaknesses. That, you know, drawing 1 Bowmasters can settle the beginning of the game so it doesn't get out of control. Maybe. Maybe that's it. I think this is a pretty obvious counter. Keep them off lands. Yeah. Man, if this was a Faerie, would have been busted. Alright. I don't know if it's necessary to play the Bitter Blossom to actually win this game outright. But I'm going to go ahead and play it. So, gives us sustain. If he does get a board wipe, gives us sustain. And I have another Bowmasters to make this a 3/3. Yeah, we're fine with that. Haywire being basically the best way to get rid of the ring. So we're okay with Goyf. We just kill it. So push. So Goyf is super weak. I mean, if he's going against Bolt and stuff, sure, but Fatal Push takes out Goyf pretty well. Alright. So he's going to go find probably Shadow Sphere, I'm assuming. Unless, I don't know what other 1-drop, 0 or 1-drop he has in his deck. But he's going to make a dude, and sure. I think of Bowmasters, but 5. Ping, 5 on the stat, or 5 power. Okay. The Haywire Might's not really a thing. We don't care about that. This is actually important, so we need to go ahead and counterspell that. We'll snap counterspell. Yeah, this deck is just... I mean, it runs like a blue-red deck where it wants that tempo, and once it loses that tempo, you fall apart pretty quickly. Unlike Dimir, you can regain it. You know, this just doesn't give you that ability to come back when you're down. So, if you ever played Red-Blue Delver, it's notorious for when you go down, when you just lose that. And you just fail. You typically lose immediately. And it's not even like a, oh man, like I didn't see that coming. No, you run out of gas and it's really, really obvious. Yes, Roadkill. It would be, if Orcish Bowmasters was Faerie Bowmasters, it would be obscene. Like it's not just an auto 4. It's one of those cards you want 8 of, and it would just be broken because of situations and interactions like that, to where, oh, I killed your Faerie, but I have this Bowmasters that also every time you draw a card, like it pings you and makes a dude, and like it's just a busted Magic card. if they just put Faerie Archer on it. It'd be like Cupid. Oh. We call it Faerie Cupid. Or Cupid Faerie. I don't know if this dude wants to play anymore or not. So... But I'll have 5. Do I attack with everything? I might attack with everything and then Bowmaster in. Do 1 damage. Because he's going to block the Bowmasters, more than likely. And then ping the construct. Kill the construct. The Haywire might trade. He gains 2 life because the 9 takes... Well, yeah, he would probably block the Snapcaster. Trade, gains 2 life because the 9 takes 2. And then I'm left with 3. Kill him in 3 turns with a Spell Surge Sprite in hand. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily awesome for me or not. It depends what I draw. If I draw into something... If I draw Fable... I might do that because the next turn I get to I get a dude, so I add to the board again, and then the next turn I get a loot. I don't know, but right here, Spell Surge Sprite is a very weak card in my hand. Like drawing Force Negation actually just to pitch it is actually like the best case scenario here almost. Or a Bitter Blossom, I guess. If we put Bitter Blossom, I would have the the Faerie backing. But obviously, this list is lacking in the Faerie category, especially since we're playing since we have Mastermind things like that. But we have to add to our Wizard count too with Flame Magnor. So I think we're. We're splitting hairs a little bit. That's why I hate. Yeah. Yeah, but Arena, at least they deal with it in a different way. Instead of putting a big chess timer on there where you have to get all 3 games within this amount a lot of the time. They deal with it turn by turn basis, and then they give you... I have to think where I'm at now. The ability goes on stack. Okay. And then they mitigate it turn by turn, basically. Ask and you shall receive, correct? I think I'm going to do that. I think keeping up the pressure here is actually really good. And losing a Bowmaster while we're at it it's okay. And actually trading for the Snapcaster is okay as well. So, and then we'll yep. Okay. Yep. Wait, why did... Oh, okay. Never mind. I forgot that it would die anyway because of the other artifact. I wonder if he actually considered that as well. Because I didn't. I didn't consider that at all. Okay, cool. Anyway, I didn't think about when the Haywire Might would go away that also the construct would be destroyed. So actually this is an even better situation for me. So with that said, we'll just go ahead and play another Bowmaster. 4 on board, kill in 2 turns. Yep. So basically, if we get out in front, we're good. If not, on the draw, we're taking out another Sprite. Maybe even another. It's really not good, but I need something for the wizard. Yeah, maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on the wizards, but why play this if you can't play it? Like, especially in this deck, Destroy Target Artifact is very relevant. Like, it's very relevant, and just destroy them emotionally. Oh, that's good. I don't know if we want this. The change the equation's fine, but I think we mull. One, because I don't have another Faerie for Mistbind. I think we mulligan here. We keep this in hopes. Throw back a Fable. And hope we get red later. Like a fetch or something. And we only keep because we have Blossom Mistbind. So we have the combo right here. We don't necessarily need Bitter Blossom for the combo, but we just need another Faerie. Okay, bye Bitter Blossom. It was fun. And if he takes Fable, we're totally cool with that. I think this kind of scenario right here is actually where the deck shines. Is he gets to pick his poison in his path of how he wants to win. Does he want to deal with the tokens of this, or does he want to deal with Fable? Both are slow, grindy things, but obviously he chose this. And if he had like an Urza Saga in hand, he very might, he might have not chose this, but I guess he can also blow this up too with a might. Alright, now we're good. Cool. So, worst case scenario for us in this situation is he rins 6s on turn 2. He didn't do that, so we're actually kind of happy here on that from that regard. Okay. Fetch. Okay, we need red mana. Alright. Okay, so he's gonna make a dude. And then go get something. I'm assuming he's gonna go get a might. He knew I had the Fable, and yet still goes for the Spell Bomb. It's quite interesting, actually. I'm not really worried about this Lantern. I could have countered it. It's not really... We're not worried about it. But... Alright, so he's out of Bowmaster. This is kind of what I was getting at, is if we would have had this Bowmasters from the beginning, this kind of cleans up a little bit better. We kill the first, he makes the token, we kill it, and then he untaps and makes the second token, and then grabs the Pirate Spellbomb. I think this Orcish Bowmasters is just, you have to have it early, or you get behind too much. Because every game that I get ahead, or even a Bitter Blossom return 2, which he obviously stifled. Ooh. Yeah, he obviously stifled the, the the Bitter Blossom plan, which is okay, which is normally I'm used to it happening. So, but with this, I can be interactive and take care of these tokens early. But once he gets out and about, then unable to do that. Also, I didn't want this misbind. I wanted another land so I could counter this. It would have been much better to counter this hold up counter spell. Change the equation here. Hold up counter spell, and then orc. And then if he doesn't play another spell that I want to counter, then play the orc. But it just synergizes better. Other than that, I'm taking 8, which I'm probably going to block with the token. So, but in my opinion, he should spell bomb the Bowmasters, so he takes that. But I mean, even if we had red mana and played the Fable here, we're not happy with where we're at. Take it, even though he can just blow it up, or just we'll block with the token. We just can't take 8. That's the problem. Going down to 8 is just... If it's not already suicide, it's... At least if he blows this up to get rid of this, at least these go down to 6, and I have 2 turns to live. Which I still do, I guess. Sure. Yeah. And I don't have board wipes, so... This is done. You gotta draw a red mana, man. There it is.